It was another brilliant weekend in the Championship. Matchday 34. We're going to look at every game, what happened, the key stats, no mucking around, straight into it. George Earthy hit a double off the substitutes bench to turn the result around in a 2-1 victory for Bristol City over Middlesbrough at Ashton Gate. Middlesbrough took the lead in the 37th minute when Tommy Conway scored against his former club, heading into an unguarded net after goalkeeper Max O'Leary had parried Kelechi Iheanacho's shot into his path. Liam Manning made a triple substitution in the 63rd minute, bringing on Earthy, Yu Hirakawa and Cameron Pring. It proved to be a game-changing move. Substitute Earthy made a significant impact, scoring twice in the second half, equalising in the 72nd minute, firing in from Pring's cross. It was then Earthy scoring the winner in the 82nd, tapping home the rebound after Scott Twine's free kick had hit the crossbar. Both teams had several chances throughout the match. Middlesbrough goalkeeper Mark Travers made crucial saves, including a full-length dive to deny Twine's 25-yard shot. 2-1 it finished as Bristol City's home record boosted again with an excellent comeback. Manning said afterwards, "For all the control, we find ourselves a goal behind, and that was the message second half. Keep doing so much of it. Add that bit at the end, the ruthlessness, add the composure, add the belief, and you can do it." Bristol City have won 6 of their last 7 home league games with just a single loss during that time, as it underpins their playoff charge. The Robins have now won each of their last 3 league games against Middlesbrough. Earthy had never scored for Bristol City before today, on loan of course from West Ham. He scored once in 3 Premier League appearances for the Hammers, so a day to cherish for the 20-year-old. Next up for the Robins is a 10-day break until they return on the 4th of March, with a trip to Millwall and a home return to Ashton Gate the following Saturday to take on Hull City. Middlesbrough have lost each of their last 4 away league games, and this is now 4 defeats in succession for the first time since September 2023. More pressure added on Michael Carrick, who is seeing his side disappear from any playoff hopes without a trace. "We've done it too much," he said. "We've been ahead in games this season and come away with nothing at the end of it, and that is what's hurting us." Carrick's team are right back into action on Tuesday night away at Stoke City before a home fixture next Saturday afternoon against Derby County. Goals flowing for the Clarets with that all-familiar clean sheet for their 12th in a row now as they hit 4 against Sheffield Wednesday at Turf Moor. The scoreline was cruel on Wednesday, who are arguably the better side in the first half, but they couldn't break that impenetrable Burnley defensive wall. Marcus Edwards opened the scoring in the 43rd minute, gliding past defenders and rifling the ball into the roof of the net. Stuart Armstrong looked certain to score as he flicked Josh Windus's cross towards goal, but Burnley defender Maxime Esteve made a block to take the effort wide, celebrating his defensive achievement as well. Substitute Josh Brownhill scored Burnley's second goal just 43 seconds after coming on, converting a cross from Jayden Anthony. And it was Connor Roberts adding the third goal as he tapped in another cross from Anthony as well, before Manuel Benson rounded off the scoring with a stunning long-range strike in second half stoppage time. Scott Parker said afterwards, "First half we started pretty slowly and lacked a bit of energy, but the goal came at a great time for us. We were clinical, it's another clean sheet, 4 goals, and overall I'm really pleased." The Clarets extending their unbeaten run in the Championship now to 21 games and recording their 12th consecutive clean sheet with this one. Burnley are also unbeaten across their last 8 league games now against Sheffield Wednesday, a great opponent for the Clarets with 5 wins in those games. James Trafford kept his 24th clean sheet to equal the Championship best by Wolves' John Ruddy and QPR's Paddy Kenny. It's the FA Cup next on horizon for Burnley with an all-Championship 5th round tie away at Preston North End before a return to league action away at Cardiff the following midweek. A tough one to take for Sheffield Wednesday, who have now lost 2 on the bounce and could be considered unfortunate to have conceded 4 goals to Burnley. Defensively though, at times it's been the undoing for Sheffield Wednesday. Too often they're conceding multiple goals and their goalkeeping save percentage is the 23rd best in the league. Danny Roll said, "We're doing well between both boxes, but to win games you have to be strong in the box. We're doing so many things right, but it's hard and you're seeing the limit of where we are at the minute." The Owls will be looking for a reaction at home next Friday, facing another side battling for a promotion in Sunderland before they face a trip to Plymouth a week later. A late Millwall winner at Pride Park piled on the pressure for the Rams, who are still searching to avoid the drop. A 1-0 win for the away side with a late Josh Coburn winner. In a tight, keenly contested game of few chances, neither side could manage a single effort on target before the break. Derby's best opportunity throughout was a Matt Clark header which hit the underside of the crossbar and was cleared off the line, denying them a goal. Millwall themselves had a significant chance to open the scoring in the 84th minute. Coburn was fouled inside the penalty area by Sondre Langas, leading the referee to point to the spot. Coburn himself stepped up to take the penalty, but he missed that chance. Derby's goalkeeper Jakob Zetterstrom making a crucial save. But Coburn redeemed himself in stoppage time, the 5th minute of added time. George Saville's shot was saved by Zetterstrom, but Coburn was in the right place at the right time to tap in the rebound for the win. Alex Neil said afterwards the discussion point before the game was don't let this season drift. We're at that stage where you look at the fixtures and think that's a big one and we don't want to be any different. Derby County have gone 11 championship games now without a win since beating West Brom on Boxing Day. Only the recent draws against Norwich and Oxford to show in terms of points. Derby haven't scored a single goal in any of their last 6 home league games, as overall the Rams are scoring less than a goal per game both home and away in the championship. John Eustace said I was under no illusions as to how difficult it was going to be, but I'm here for the long term, not the short term. It's very hard to get that magical solution straight away. There's lots to work on. Derby are back in action next weekend away at Middlesbrough before they return to Pride Park at home to Blackburn as they search for all important points. Millwall have only lost 1 in 7 away games since Alex Neil took charge over Christmas, making them a tough nut to crack on the road. They've won each of their last 5 away league games now against Derby County since 2019, winning by a 1-goal margin in each of those matches as that run continued. Coburn scored his 3rd goal of the season for the Rams in 9 championship matches. On loan for the season from Middlesbrough is starting to settle following his early calf injury for the club. FA Cup 5th round action next for Millwall, a trip to Premier League Crystal Palace before a home championship fixture at home to Bristol City the following Tuesday. Plymouth fought back from an early goal against 10-man Cardiff City as they keep fighting in the relegation scrap, a 1-1 draw at Home Park. Cardiff took the lead in the 14th minute with a goal from Yusuf Salak, who bandled in a cross from Will Alves at the far post. That's 4 goals in 8 in all competitions since Salak joined the Bluebirds. Aaron Ramsey was back for Cardiff and his influence was clear. The Welsh captain was bringing the best out of others around him. But Demetrios Gautas was sent off in the 53rd minute for fouling Barley Mumba on the edge of the box, reducing Cardiff to 10 men, opening the door for Plymouth. It was their substitute Mohamed Tijani who scored the equaliser in the 67th minute, converting from close range after a header across the face of goal from Mustafa Bundu. Both goalkeepers made crucial saves, Plymouth Conor Hazard denying Aaron Ramsey's free kick, and Jack Ornwick making a smart save from a powerful header from Mumba, but he ended with a worrying injury concern as he went off. Muslik said afterwards, mixed emotions and mixed feelings because we threw away the first 45 minutes. In our situation, we can't throw away 4.5 seconds. Plymouth had won each of their last 3 home games in all competitions, all coming in February. This draw now their 7th at home all season. They've lost just 3 of their last 25 home league games against Cardiff, but so long against 10 men they will have been frustrated not to get one here. Mohamed Tijani's first goal in English football will be a welcome one for their on-loan forward, who's already missed a large part of the season with injury. After last round's FA Cup incredible victory over Liverpool, it's a trip to the Etihad on Saturday evening for Plymouth, facing Manchester City, ahead of a trip to Hull next in the Championship. Cardiff could well be without goalkeeper Jack Ornwick in the next match after he played the final stages of this game that went beyond 102 minutes, looking like he was struggling with a hamstring injury. Omar Ritza said, I thought we controlled the game quite well in the first half and started the second okay, but then obviously the red card helped them get their tails up. Cardiff have now shipped 37 goals in 17 away league games. In 2024-25, their worst average per game, 2.06 since the 1985-86 campaign when they conceded 54 in 23 games, 2.35 goals per game. The Bluebirds are straight back in Championship action on Tuesday night at home to Hull before an FA Cup 5th round tie on Friday night at Premier League Aston Villa. Sunderland finally lost their unbeaten Championship home record with the visitors Hull City taking all 3 points with an own goal. The only goal of the match coming in the 18th minute when Sunderland goalkeeper Anthony Patterson accidentally deflected Joe Gelhardt's corner into his own net. Luke O'Nien had a headed goal ruled out for offside, and Ivor Panda almost was done from a Patrick Roberts corner in similar fashion. Hull City's defence held strong throughout the match, with goalkeeper Panda making crucial saves to keep Sunderland at bay. Injury worries though, as Louis Barry went off injured for Hull and Enzo Lefebvre forced off at half time with a hamstring tweak, with Sunderland also seeing Dan Ballard limp off as well. Now Sunderland had several chances to equalise, including a header from Wilson Isidore that went wide, as well as a late effort from Roberts that narrowly missed the target as they ultimately lost ground in the promotion race. It was a good performance from the team against a really good opponent away from home. It's always difficult. They have pace and are energetic, but the team showed character in possession. Sunderland had lost just one of their last 12 league games against Hull going into this one, although that sole defeat came in this exact fixture last season, 1-0. Regis Lebris confirmed that Lefebvre's injury could keep him on the sidelines for a sustained period, the extent of the injury to be assessed in the coming days. Lebris said afterwards, "It's the 34th game, the season is long and we have a short squad, so we can understand that we have a low point in our dynamic. The game wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best performance so far." Sheffield Wednesday away next on the horizon for Sunderland on Friday night, before they host Cardiff City at the Stadium of Light a week later. That's now 4 wins out of their last 5 away matches, as Ruben Sellers is starting to work some magic with the Tigers. Hull City are unbeaten now across their last 4 away league games against Sunderland since a 1-0 defeat at the Stadium of Light back in 2018. Loan signing Louis Barry suffered a knee injury, but initial reports are that it's not as bad as first feared for their new forward addition. Hull are back to Championship football on Tuesday night away at Cardiff before they host Plymouth a week later on another Tuesday. Cardiff City gained a victory that ended their 17-year-long wait for a league win against Preston, moving them closer to the Championship playoff spots with a 2-1 win. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto forced visiting keeper Freddie Woodman into a save after just 10 seconds as Coventry set a quick pace and tone. But Coventry took the lead in the 30th minute when Jack Gradoni headed in a cross from Ephron Mason-Clark. The Sky Blues then doubled their lead just 7 minutes later with Bobby Thomas scoring from a corner delivered by new boy Matt Grimes. But it was Coventry continuing to go close despite a triple half-time substitution from Paul Heckingbottom, as Woodman sprawled to his right to keep out Sakamoto's half volley and also tipped over an Ellis Sims shot. Preston managed to pull one back in the 82nd minute when Will Keane bundled Brad Potts' cross over the line. Coventry's goalkeeper Oliver Dovin made crucial saves keeping Preston at bay, while Preston's goalkeeper Woodman made several important stops himself, preventing Coventry extending their lead. It ended 2-1 to Coventry, and Lampard said, "We have to continue to build on this, and you just have a good feeling that the fans are really buying into it. We have almost everybody fit, and we have different ways of getting goals." Coventry City had failed to win any of their last 22 league games against Preston, finally ending that hoodoo, although it should have been more goals in truth. Since Frank Lampard's first Championship game in charge of Coventry, only Leeds, Burnley and Sheffield United have won more points in the division than the Sky Blues. Rodoni now has 10 Championship assists this season, the most by a Sky Blues player in a league season since 22-23, when both Gus Harmer and Victor Gyökeres assisted 10, but today he was the goal scorer. Saturday lunchtime kick-off next for Coventry away at Oxford United, before they host former manager Mark Robins on his return to Coventry as Stoke City boss. Preston are now 3 matches without a win as they pick up their 8th loss of the season away from Deepdale. Defensively, they did well to keep the score at just 2, but almost fell after the goal that got them back into the game. There was potential for a late equaliser, but alas, it did not come. "Our problem was," said Paul Heckingbottom, "when we got in behind them, the final pass was missing, which meant we didn't get the opportunities. We've been trying to make changes and manage the group to keep the energy." It's Burnley in the FA Cup on Saturday lunchtime in their upcoming fixture before they host Swansea at home in the Championship the following Tuesday. Sargent at the double for Norwich as the United States international goes 7 goals in his last 6 games with a 4-2 win for Norwich over Stoke City. Lewis Dobbin opened the scoring for Norwich with a well-taken goal after a brilliant pass from Marcelino Nunes. Lewis Baker had brought the game level though on the stroke of half-time. A poor Shane Duffy pass was intercepted by Pearson, who found Moran in turn setting up Baker with a neat finish just inside the box. But the second half saw Sargent take charge. Boyer Sainz played a pass into the box that should have been dealt with by Ender Stevens. However, his poor touch allowed Sargent to pounce on the loose ball and touch in the rebound. His second was an impressive left foot strike after cleverly working himself a yard of space, turning on the edge of the area and curling the ball past Victor Johansson for a brilliant goal. And Norwich's fourth came for a deflection off Chamadou, which sealed the win for the Canaries. Baker got a second from the penalty spot late on for Stoke, but it wasn't enough to see them any points as Norwich were worthy winners. Hofthorpe said afterwards, "We have some offensive stuff going on that really gives us good opportunities and puts us in so many good situations. We could have scored more. That's the positive thing." Norwich had lost their last home championship match against Preston, but they haven't lost consecutively at Carrow Road since losing to Leeds, Middlesbrough and Blackburn in October and November last season. The Canaries are unbeaten across their last 9 league games against Stoke City, scoring 3 or more goals in 5 of those matches. Now they're on form forward. Josh Sargent has been brilliant recently. He's had a hand in 16 goals in his last 17 championship starts, scoring 7 in his last 6 for the Canaries. Blackburn Rovers is the next fixture for Norwich on Saturday lunchtime, ahead of a Friday night under the lights at Carrow Road against Oxford United. 2 consecutive defeats on the road for Stoke following their losses at Portsmouth and Bristol City, with this one conceding a total of 6 in those 2 matches. Stoke had won 2 of their last 3 championship matches, which was more than they'd managed in their previous 15 games combined, but they picked up their 9th away defeat of the season here. Mark Robbins said defeats are tough, but this one was avoidable. We didn't get things right in the press to start because we ended up being too deep. You have to realise that comes from being brave, and the backline has to be high. 2 home matches for Stoke next as they take on first Middlesbrough on Tuesday before they face Watford on the Saturday. Portsmouth and their Fratton Park Fortress saw victory with an outstanding goal from Josh Murphy, part of a 2-1 win over QPR. Neither goalkeeper was greatly troubled during the opening 45 minutes. Josh Murphy, a constant threat all game, cutting in from the left flank and setting up an early chance that Connor Ogilvie headed wide. Michael Frey had a close chance and Elias Chair's ambitious effort from the halfway line were both comfortably dealt with by keeper Nicholas Schmidt. In the 48th minute, Murphy curled a beautiful shot to break the deadlock. Another cut inside, a fabulous finish, an absolutely wonderful goal. Just 3 minutes later, Murphy set up Matt Ritchie for the second goal, put Pompey 2-0 up, with Ritchie finishing from close range. QPR's Jimmy Dunn pulled one back in the 74th minute, a fine lofted finish which set up a tense finale. But despite QPR's efforts, Portsmouth's defence held strong to secure the win. Mousinho said afterwards it was really important last week when we got that away win so that we weren't just relying on our home form, but to come back here and to win was the most key thing. 3 consecutive league wins for Portsmouth now sees their relegation fears eased as they shoot to 9 points clear of the relegation zone. After winning the reverse fixture 2-1 in October last year, Pompey recorded their first league double over QPR since the 1961-62 season. Following wins over Cardiff and Oxford, Portsmouth are looking for 3 consecutive championship victories for the first time since winning 6 in a row back in February-March 2011. Now up next for Pompey, it is Luton Town, their next away fixture in the Championship next Saturday, before they host top of the table Leeds United a week later. QPR have won 6 of their 10 Championship matches in 2025. Only Leeds, Sheffield United and Coventry have won more, but Rangers today, not their day. A disappointing result and disappointing performance of the manager. It was not easy to impose our way of playing, to try and put the ball on the ground and activate the third man because they press so intensely. Elias Chair has been directly involved now in 6 goals in his last 9 championship appearances for QPR as he's starting to really be involved at the front end of the pitch. It's Sheffield United next on the agenda for Rangers at Loftus Road next weekend, with a trip to West Brom for Cifuentes' team a week later. In the battle of the interim managers at the Swansea.com stadium, it was the home side Swansea City who came away 3-0 victors over Blackburn Rovers. Swansea's goalkeeper made crucial saves, denying Andreas Weimann twice in the first half. 5 days after sacking former head coach Williams following a run of 8 defeats in 10 games, the Swans were reinvigorated under interim boss Alan Sheehan as they built a commanding 2-0 half-time lead. Sandra Potnik scored his first goal in the 39th minute, finishing from close range after a scramble in the box, and just before half-time, the perfect time to score, as Miles Peart-Harris doubled Swansea's lead with a composed finish. 2 became 3 in the second half as Peart-Harris played a key role in the build-up, delivering a much precise pass to Cullen. He was well positioned in the box, and he finished with a composed side-footed shot. There was further chances for Giancarlo Franco and Josh Tymon, but Swansea scored a much-needed victory. Sheehan said afterwards that he was pleased with the way that the team controlled the game and took their chances. He also hinted at his own interest in taking the full-time role, but he emphasised that his focus was on preparing the team at the moment for each game. Swansea City lost 6 of their final 7 league games under former manager Williams, including the last 3 at a row at home, so this was a welcome response for the home side. Alan Sheehan's second spell in caretaker charge of Swansea got off to a dream start with this 3-0 win, much needed after the recent plummet down the table. Liam Cullen has now hit 10 championship goals for the season, the first time in his career that he's hit double figures in a league season. Swansea have a midweek fixture in 10 days' time, up next away to Preston, before a home match against Middlesbrough as they look to build some form. Blackburn Rovers have won just one of their last 8 league away games against Swansea City, as it's not proved a happy hunting ground for the Rovers. Interim head coach David Lowe conceded that Blackburn Rovers were well beaten after giving away some poor goals. He acknowledged that it was a difficult afternoon for his team. Tyrese Dolan has been involved now in 4 goals in his last 4 championship appearances for Blackburn going into this one, but they drew a blank at Swansea for the first time in 6 championship games. And Rovers will want to bounce back at home to Norwich next Saturday lunchtime before they face a trip to Derby County a week later. West Brom back in the playoff places with an important 2-0 win over Oxford United as their poor run continues. Alex Maurer opened the scoring in the 11th minute with a well-taken finish after a clever pass from Isaac Price. West Brom dominated the match. They did create numerous chances and forced several saves from coming. With 22 shots to 5 from the visitors, the statistics told the story, but for all the vibrant performance across the Baggies' front end, they were wasteful with the chances they created. The best of them did come in the second period, Maurer going close to doubling West Brom and his own tally, firing a superb shot from 25 yards, only for Jamie Cumming to tip it up over the upright at full stretch. Substitute John Swift, though, sealed the win with a goal deep into second half stoppage time. He took advantage of Cumming being upfield for a corner and they picked them off 2-0. It finished. An important win for West Brom, who are looking to cement that playoff spot with the season starting to accelerate towards its finish in May. Mowbray said afterwards, "I haven't seen the stats yet, but I can't remember our goalkeeper making a save. Theirs didn't make enough saves either though, and that's something we need to address." A first win in 3 matches was well needed for the Baggies, looking to put games away as in its intense playoff battle, including so many teams. Now they lost 2-0 at home to Blackburn in their last league game at the Hawthorns, but West Brom haven't lost consecutively at home since October 2022. Manager Tony Mowbray has won all 3 of his managerial encounters with Oxford United in the league, beating them twice when he was Blackburn manager in League One in 2017-18. It's a big test though for the Baggies up next. They travel to Leeds United on Saturday lunchtime, with QPR at home waiting a week after. Oxford United failed to register a shot on target against West Brom and they've now gone 6 games without a win. Oxford had won 5 of their first 7 championship games under Gary Rowett, scoring 12 goals, but they've since gone winless in 6 games, scoring just once. Rowett said, "I thought we spent too long trying to build play in a nice way, and today it was a kind of nice performance in some ways where we needed a little bit more of an edge about us." Oxford will host Frank Lampard's Coventry at the Kassam next Saturday at 12:30, before a trip to Carrow Road the following Friday night to take on Norwich City. At Vicarage Road, Watford ended their run of 5 successive home defeats, winning the M1 derby against struggling Luton Town. Watford took the lead in the 11th minute when a penalty was scored by Tom Delibashiru. After it was awarded, the Luton goalkeeper Thomas Kaminski judged to have fouled Mamadou Doumbia. Edu Kayembe doubled Watford's lead in the 23rd minute. Georgie Chakvatadzi's brilliant assist, evading a challenge and squaring the ball for Kayembe to finish from close range. Morris went off after 83 minutes. He's failed to score at Luton for the 10th game in a row in all competitions. Chakvatadze did force a good late save for Kaminski, but Watford's defence managed to hold strong, their goalkeeper Egil Selvik not having to make a save until injury time. Luton continued this poor run of form. They remained bottom of the championship table, extending their winless streak to 13 games in all competitions. Now, the manager cleverly said Mamadou Doumbia has brought chasing lost causes to our Watford team, being willing to run to stretch defences. Maybe he's not had direct assists or goals, but he's having a big part to play in pretty much every goal we score lately. Watford had lost each of their last 5 home league matches, having won 10 of their 12 at Vicarage Road beforehand, so this was a nice return to a home victory. The playoff race remained tight, but back-to-back wins have ensured, for now at least, they remain in the conversation. 2 clean sheets will also be welcome as Kayembe moves his goal tally for the championship season to 8. Now, the Hornets are back on the road next week as they're hosted by Stoke City, with a lunchtime kick-off the Saturday after at home to Millwall. Luton Town have now won just one of their last 27 away league games. They've lost 13 of their last 14 on the road since winning 1-0 at Millwall all the way back in September. This defeat keeps them cemented to the bottom. They're now 5 points adrift of relegation safety. Matt Bloomfield and Luton need points, and they need it fast. Bloomfield said the players are obviously extremely disappointed with the result, really disappointed not to give our supporters something to cheer about because they turned up in incredible numbers and backed us. Next up for Luton, they host Portsmouth next Saturday before a trip the following week to high-flying Burnley. So recording this is ahead of the big one, Sheffield United versus Leeds United coming up. It's a battle of the top two. The fight up there is incredibly tense. Sunderland, of course, losing at the weekend, but Burnley winning to really put pressure on the both of them. It really could tell. The winner of this one will really fancy their chances moving forward. Leeds have been in tremendous form, so have Sheffield United. It's the immovable object meets the irresistible force. So it'll be interesting to see Monday Night Football how this one goes. And here is the league table, of course, awaiting the outcome between those top two. Burnley, as we said, pushing in third. Sunderland remain fourth. West Brom and Blackburn taking up those playoff places, but it is tight behind. Coventry, Bristol City, Watford and Norwich all winning this weekend, as well as Millwall too, piling the pressure on. It's going to be a really tough race, looking to see how that one works out. Down at the bottom, Luton, of course, still rooted. Derby, a disappointing loss. Plymouth's draw, it lifts them. They're currently sat in 22nd, so it's tight. But Cardiff, Hull, Stoke still looking over their shoulder. Thanks for watching the video. That's the conclusion of Matchday 34. Bringing out weekly Matchday Championship videos. Some Championship news videos going to hopefully be coming out in the coming weeks too. Please like and subscribe, support the channel. And if you're looking for an EFL podcast, don't look any further than the Absolute Football Podcast. Thursday nights, live with Shah and the Rowdy Rabble from 8:30 as they talk everything from EFL Championship, League 1, League 2, National League North and National League South. But for now, have a good one, enjoy the football, and I'll catch you next time.